Hello all, welcome to TechZone channel. Today I'm going to share a few interview questions which are related to ETL testing using SQL programming language. These questions were asked by one of the MNC company in the recent interview. I believe these questions are very helpful for your interview preparation if you are looking for an ETL testing position. So let's look into these questions. So in every interview, they're going to ask you to introduce your mm, self introduction, and they ask about you project details which you have worked on if you are an experienced candidate. So let's look into the first ETL question which was asked in the recent interview. So they asked us to write a query to display salary after a decimal point only. So here we have two columns in a table. One is employee ID, another one is salary column. So from the salary column, they want us to display only these values 363, 1659, 65959. So let's go to the SQL query editor and write a query how to get those results. So we have already tables created in our database schemas. So we are going to use those already created tables and the data for testing purpose and for this course purpose. So let's look into this table. So we have the below records in this particular table. One is employee ID, another one is salary. So from salary, we have to get only 363, 1659, the values which are after decimal points. So for this, we can use substring function. Let's write select salary, comma, substring of that particular salary, comma. So we need a data after the decimal point. So in that case, we are going to take string function and that particular column name, salary, and from the position where we are going to take the data from the decimal point from the full stop. So we're going to the full stop and we are going to give the position from where the data should be started, and we are going to give some alias name like decimal decimal test. So we given some random alias name for the particular result which should be stored in. So and from which table, and this table. So if we run this query, let's see what we will get. So we have a salary column. From that salary column, we just displayed only values after the decimal point 363, 1659, 65959. So this is the query we need to write to display all the values. So please, if you have any questions, please subscribe our channel and comment in the comment section so that we will look into it and we will answer after this session. So let's dig into the second question. So second question, they want us to write a query to display only first two digits of the salary from the above query. So we got this result 363, 1659, 65959. And again, they asked us to write a query to display only two digits 31259592. So using the same query, we can achieve this result. We can get the required result from the table. So let's look into the query. So we have already got the results at 3631659. So now they want us to write only 312595. So by writing another query, by keeping this in subquery, select substring of December 0, 2. from. So we are just we are just putting this query into subquery, and we are just referring this the result of this query to the outer query. Let's look whether it works or not. See, now we got the results at the as they expected. Sorry, we got some different results. It should be -1, and here we have to give the 0. Now let's look. Now we got 31, 25, 95, 92. So this is the query we have to write. So now go to the third question. So this is the third question. So they want us to display a valid phone number which should be equal to 10. So we have a database table where we have all the phone numbers and the phone types. So from the phone number list, we have valid and invalid phone numbers. So they want us to display only a valid phone number, and the length of the phone number, it should be equal to 10 only. So let's look into this, how we can write a SQL query to get this result. Let's open that particular table, select star from, where we have the table. So we have data in the phone name validation table. So from this table, we have 123460982, and another one is 9989. These are the only two phone numbers, and we have to ignore the remaining three phone numbers which are not a valid phone numbers. So how can we get these results? So we have to write a query using regular expression. We can achieve the result. Let's write select phone number from this particular table where regular expression like. So we have to provide that particular column name here. So we are searching the pattern using regular expression, where regular expression like. So we are validating, we are a phone number, it contains only digits. So in that case, we can use some search pattern here. It starts with 0 to 9 and as valid number. So we can ignore as it here. So we open and close the bracket, number from, and length of the phone number should be equal to 10. I believe we have something mistake here. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Let's run this. SQL command properly not ended. Okay, let's see where we are going wrong. Okay, so here we got the result. It pulls the only phone number which is a valid, and the length of the phone number is equal to 10. So this is the query. We can get the result. Please let me know if you have any doubts on this query. Similarly, we have another way to write the query to get this kind of results. There is another query also available. Just search, making the few changes in the search criteria. So here we used digits. It's one of the way to search, but if a particular column has any digits, and this is another way where we search with a set of values. I mean, the set includes only digits. It starts with 0 and 9 ends with 9. If any, if that particular set contains any alphanumeric characters, it ignores all those characters, all the data, and gives only the value, only the data which has numbers. In our case, these are the two valid phone numbers. So these are the three questions, and let's move to another question. Question number 4. Here they asked us to write a query to display. They gave one table and also they gave result. So here the employee ID, this particular employee table contains employee ID, basic salary, HR allowance, and additional table. So they want us to display an output like this. So they want us to write query how we can get this result. Simple, we can get this result using a union set operator. Let's look into it. So we have already written the query for that. I will explain. So here we are just combining all the column data into using a union operator. So let's take the table first. Select. Let's take all the data. Let's look into all the data we have in this particular table. So we have employee ID, basic, HR, and additional. So using union operator, what it is going to do is if we run this query, for example, if we run this only first two queries, here we mention only basic column name, and here we mention only H and HR. Only we are combining two columns data. It gives us total 6 records. And if we combine another column also, then it gives us total 9 columns. So this is the query. Using union, we can get this result. So these are the 4 questions related to SQL. How they want us to display, I mean, using different scenarios. So these are the major 4 questions they asked in one of the interview. And coming to the theoretical part, they ask us if source has 5 records and the target table contains 10 records. So in target table we have 5 duplicate records when compared to source. Do we have to identify, I mean, do we identify those duplicate records during data validation stage? Just this is a yes or no type question. So during data validation we have several scenarios where we can validate the table structure and the types and lengths and the counts, but we don't identify records during the data validation stage. So the answer is no for this question. And they're going to ask about the dimension table and fact table. What is the difference between a dimension table and fact table? Also they're going to ask, can we perform average or sum or maximum, whatever the aggregation functions we have in SQL, using rank functions. Using same rank, can we perform aggregations using rank functions in SQL, like average or sum? No, we cannot. We can work together. I mean, using average and rank functions together, we can work. But alone using rank functions, we cannot perform aggregations. I mean, getting the sum of the some value and getting the average of the some particular value using rank or with dense rank functions, we cannot do it. And we have one more important question. So this is another one they asked in the recent interview. So we have one employee table with employee ID and salaries. So they want us to display remove zeros from the salary data. I mean the remove all the zeros from the salary and calculate the sum. That means we need to calculate the sum of total the sum of salary, which means 712623 we have to remove all the zeros before calculating. How we can get this result? So let's look into the query. These are the simplest ones, but when it comes to interview, it is a bit of difficult. So we have already written the queries. I will just give the explanation how they work. So let's look into this query. So let's pull the data from the table first. Select all the records from this table. So if we run, we have salary and employee columns with the data. So they asked us to remove zeros. So to remove zeros, we can use trimming function. We can use the rtrim function here. So by mentioning rtrim and the particular column name and the zeros, what are the data we need to trim? What are the values we have to? I mentioned here as zero. So it removes all the zeros from the particular from this salary values. So once it is removed, we can just refer this output to the outer query. So let's look into this query. So first we removed zeros. Let's look how this result looks after removing the zeros. It looks like it looks this 712623 Now we want the sum of this total salary. So if we just refer this result to the outer query, in the outer query we just created a sum using some function. We just written a query, select sum of that particular. Here we gave an alias name, and to that using that alias column name we are going to get this sum. So if we run this query, we got 22 sum value. So this is the query we have to write. Another question is they want to write joints, all joints in a part on a table. See, this is another query. These are all very important two questions, and these kind of questions only will be asked in every interview. If you prepare all these questions well, and you're going to crack the interview. So this is the question. So they given a table, two tables, and they want to apply, they want to just give the results if you work on all joints. So let's look into this, how this works. So we have two tables. So if we apply inner join, what are the records you are going to get? So in inner join, we will compare one record using employee ID. Whenever there is a match between these two tables, we're going to get the results. So let's in inner join, we're going to get output as 7000, and we have another record which is common in both 1000. So these are the two records we are going to get using inner join. Similarly, there we have to work on left outer join and right outer join and full outer join. So we have to give the results. They didn't ask to write our entire query, they just ask us to how many records we are going to get if we apply all the joins on these two tables. So let's look into the another query. I believe we are done with the questions. So please ask me if you have any questions related to this interview questions and answers. Please post a comment and subscribe to these channels to get more information on interview questions related to ETL testing using SQL. We have few more interview questions related to ETL testing which were asked by different organizations with multiple scenarios. These questions will really helpful for your interview preparation. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.